The Rock made his surprising WWE return at Bad Blood in Atlanta and seemingly set in motion the plans for WrestleMania 41 next year in Las Vegas, as it was The Rock staring down Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, who had just successfully teamed up to defeat Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, advantage Reigns and Rhodes in the battle against the Bloodline until the final boss made an appearance and, again, seemingly set up the idea that we were going to get The Rock versus Cody Rhodes, or The Rock versus Roman Reigns, or The Rock versus Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41. However, that may not be the case, because one of those participants may not be at WrestleMania 41. Before we talk about that, I keep telling you guys, I'm on Twitter now. Follow me there at WrestleBlake. We're talking about this big story and a lot of other WWE stuff, past, present, future. Click on that link in the description below and the pinned comment. Follow me on there, having lots of fun discussions about everything that's going on now on the road to Crown Jewel, on the road to Survivor Series, and yeah, eventually on the road to WrestleMania 41, which is the focus of this particular topic, because it has been reported now by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that The Rock will not be at WrestleMania 41. And I'm going to read it exactly how it's told here, is that the plan as it stands is that The Rock is not scheduled for WrestleMania 41 next year in Las Vegas. One source said about a potential match between The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, if it's the triple threat, if that's the idea we're working with here, he's not going to be able to do Mania. He already gave word that he wouldn't be able to do the match. So this is telling you that he's already told WWE he's not available to do the match. And one of the phrases used here is a heavy schedule is what The Rock has. It's going to keep him from doing WrestleMania 41. Another person, so another source here, also gives this quote that basically they had no idea about anything. So this is someone who, as it is stated here, intricately involved in the top of the card program, said that they had no idea about anything. So you can read into who you think is saying these things and all that. But the fact of the matter is this. There is now a report saying that The Rock will not be at WrestleMania 41. Now, I will quickly tell you that I would take anything you hear with a grain of salt when it comes to a report on WrestleMania 41 6 months out. As we said, The Rock returning at Bad Blood, you're thinking, okay, I mean, this WrestleMania 41 is not till 6 months away. Triple H likes his long-term booking. Are they already setting in motion what could be the main event for WrestleMania 41, which, as we said after Bad Blood, the most likely thing seemed to be hinting at a triple threat match between the three. But if that's not it, and if The Rock is not at WrestleMania 41, you have an interesting reaction to that, don't you? This would be my reaction to it. Exactly what The Rock did when he walked out at Bad Blood. Raise the eyebrow and be very curious about what I'm looking at here, because it does bring up the question, why did he come out? If you're not hinting at the possibility or the likelihood even that this is going to be a match at WrestleMania 41 on night 2 that involves The Rock competing for probably the WWE Undisputed Championship, unless he's facing Roman Reigns in a one-on-one match, which at that point, maybe you do Rock versus Roman, you do Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Those have always been the things we've talked about over the past 6 months now, since WrestleMania 40. Those seem to be two great options heading into next year. But let's just play a game here, okay? Let's say this report is accurate. Well, then what do, right? You're still raising the eyebrow here, just like the final boss, because what's the option then? Sure, you could still do Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, but are you possibly doing Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns Part 3 as the WrestleMania 41 main event? I know that both are going to be babyfaces in this scenario, and I know both are still top stars, but I do not think in that scenario you're going to be able to top what you did at WrestleMania 40. And so, for that reason, I don't know that you can do Cody versus Reigns 3 at WrestleMania 41. Sure, it would be interesting in terms of the lineage and the trilogy aspect and everything, 3 straight WrestleManias and all that. But this feels like a Rock WrestleMania because, again, he just now inserted himself back into this whole thing. And you can say, well, the Rock schedule is the Rock schedule. He's a big movie star, the Hollywood man, the Rock. He may not be able to do it. He may not be able to train for a match the way that he did last year heading into WrestleMania 40. And as I've said before, the thing is, anytime you can get The Rock, you're going to bring The Rock back. So if you decided to bring The Rock back to Bad Blood without knowing for sure if he was going to be able to do WrestleMania 41, then you can't really blame WWE for that because it's The Rock. You're going to take the star power, you're going to get the attention, and you're going to use the man anytime you can because, again, that's the star power in play. But if you really do think about this and you look at the way everything has been done throughout this story, right? It's not just what happened at WrestleMania 40 with The Rock pinning Cody Rhodes on night 1 to lead us into Cody versus Reigns on night 2. It's not just what happened on the Raw after WrestleMania 40 where The Rock and Cody Rhodes are exchanging very, fine words to each other and seemingly hyping up a match that's going to happen at some point. It's not just that. It's also the WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain documentary, which finished with yet another tease that we were going to get The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. And now you go to Bad Blood in October. That is also teasing a match between The Rock and Cody Rhodes. And sure, we keep talking about, hey, maybe you want to see the Reigns match. Maybe there are some people who do want to see the triple threat. They've been teasing this for months and months and months. If they've done that without knowing that The Rock's going to be at WrestleMania 41, then that is clearly an oversight because you are basically put all the attention for the people on The Rock wrestling at some point. Now, you could say, well, it doesn't have to be WrestleMania 41, and you're right about that, because there are some big milestone shows coming up, right, for WWE. You've still got Saturday night's main event. I don't know if The Rock's going to be wrestling on Saturday night's main event on NBC. I don't know if that's going to happen. Could The Rock wrestle on the Raw on Netflix debut in January? That's supposedly, that could be a realistic possibility, right? If you're going to do a Rock match, you could do it on a Raw. It doesn't have to be a PLE, something like that. But is that where you're really going to do The Rock versus Cody or The Rock versus Roman? I don't know about that. Now, if you want to say they're going to go all out on this thing and they decide they want to do the Rock versus Cody match on the Raw Netflix debut, it'll be one of the biggest matches ever. And it'll be one of the most meaningful matches ever because that's where you're trying to get all your eyeballs on Netflix to watch Raw every single week now. You're trying to get people to go from USA Network. They have been it's been a habit for years and years and years, right? Sure, they jumped around a little bit there for a minute, but it's been a habit. You've now got to get people into that habit of going to Netflix. The Rock would be a way to do it. And then, of course, you've got the Royal Rumble. That could be a possibility where you do The Rock versus Cody there. Maybe that's something that could be in the works. But if it's all about the schedule, and this report seemingly suggests it is about the schedule and the preparation, how's he going to prepare for a match, that's going to happen in December or January versus, what could happen in early April? Sure, there are ways to do it, but those are the questions we're asking coming out of this, right? And I just tend to think that the way we've seen WWE play this, sure, you can say they got it wrong last year in terms of they were going to go all in on The Rock versus Roman Reigns. The fans weren't going to have it. We got, I think, the better outcome. But this year, if you've planned all this, knowing that this was sort of a multi-year story with the way they did it at WrestleMania 40, I don't know how you could have done that without knowing that The Rock is going to be in the plans for WrestleMania 41. And again, everything they've teased has told us that's the case. So, I say this. I say raise the eyebrow, take this with a grain of salt, because I'm not buying it just yet. I'm not buying the fact that The Rock is not going to be at WrestleMania 41 because I need to see something a little bit stronger. Because here's why. Think about how quickly things changed for the WrestleMania 40 main event, right? We thought we were getting The Rock versus Roman Reigns basically 2 months out. We're still 6 months away from WrestleMania 41. A lot can happen. And even if the plan right now is that The Rock isn't sure if he's going to make it to WrestleMania 41 because he's got all these filming responsibilities and everything like that, you've got to think that they would not be doing this unless they were very certain that he is going to have a very strong likelihood of being in the main event picture at WrestleMania 41. And this goes beside the point of saying, well, some people may not even care if The Rock's at WrestleMania 41. Some people may be okay if he's not in the main event at WrestleMania 41 Night 2. But I think the WWE cares, and I think their financial situation cares because, again, The Rock is just different. He is someone who's going to attract a different level of an audience that you're just not going to get, with the people that are there full time, and that's just the nature of the way it works. I think, with all these huge deals they've gotten and all that. And that's not saying that Cody isn't a big star, Roman isn't a big star, but if you can get The Rock involved, you're going to do it. And to me, I am still a little bit hesitant to go all in on the idea that The Rock will not be at WrestleMania 41. I think if you had to place a bet right now, which opinions could change, I would say he's going to be there. And I think that, again, everything that they've done has hinted at that. And for this to come out literally almost a week after he makes his return at Bad Blood, to all but make it official that he's going to be at WrestleMania 41, I'm not buying it just yet. So you guys let me know what you think about this report. You can read the full thing, the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I'll link it in the description below. You can check out the full report. But again, the basis is that people are of the opinion or, believe they know that The Rock has already told WWE that he's not going to be at WrestleMania 41 because of a heavy schedule, and there are other people who seemingly have no idea what's going on. So that's what we've learned moving forward here, and we'll see if we can get some clarity over the next several months from, where things are going to stand with the final boss heading into WrestleMania 41 season. So you guys let me know your thoughts. Will The Rock be there? Will he not be there? Are you buying this? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. As always, appreciate you guys' feedback. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button on your way out. And again, follow me on Twitter at WrestleBlake. We'll be discussing this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting opinions there, so follow me on that. And again, I appreciate you guys watching as always. Let me know your thoughts on whether the final boss will be in Las Vegas for WrestleMania 41.